Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor, and I help people navigate their spiritual awakening process. And today I'm going to share with you a very powerful and effective, easy to implement visualization technique that will actually work for you, that you'll see results. And in doing so, you will realize that you can literally change your life experience utilizing the simple law of attraction and this very simple nuts and bolts technique and way of going about it. It was inspired and taught to me from a book I'm currently reading, which I recommend. I just saw a comment today that someone said, hey man, where's the book reviews? What book should I read? I would recommend you guys read, if you want, what's it called? Psycho-Cybernetics by, I can't think of the author, but if you just type in Psycho-Cybernetics, it's a book that's all about a lot of stuff we are learning through experience about how reality works, how our consciousness functions, and it's just put forth, and it was written, I want to say in like the 20s or 30s, and just amazing how lucid and clear it came forth in this book. So I recommend that, guys. It's awesome. It really helped a lot of these like spiritual principles click for me in a very easy to grasp sort of way. So that's my recommendation. Anyway, getting back to the topic. When I used to visualize, and this does have its place, I'm not saying this is wrong or ineffective, but I would visualize big things that were really hard to wrap my mind around, that were kind of far off in the future. For example, last winter, both my businesses, basically, they were like crumbling to ashes. They were dying. I was running out of funds. I had no idea what to do. It was cold. It was the winter time. And I would sit there every morning and I would visualize myself, my family, living in what me and my wife call a dream house, like a massive mansion in San Diego, California, which was just such a freaking fantasy at the time. But I really believe, because just having been awakening so long, I realized that life really is kind of magical. And I just watched the movie The Secret, and I was just visualizing it. Wow, yeah. But obviously, it hasn't happened yet. It might not even be important to me at the time when it could happen. But the point is, that didn't really do anything for me. That didn't really get me anywhere. It didn't improve my life. And it's not that the law of attraction is bullshit. It's not that visualization doesn't work. I just was using it in a way that was not really as effective. So here's what I recommend. I recommend you guys do, and this is what I've been doing, that's why I'm sharing this. I've been doing it for very simple things. Like if I'm going to go to the grocery store, it's very easy for our brain to recollect and remember and regurgitate all the different problems that we may have experienced while going to the grocery store. Sometimes my kids are fussy. I have a 2-year-old, almost a 3-year-old right now. My son Lucas, he can be a hellion, man. He's not an easy kid at all. He's very rebellious, very strong-willed, very smart, very high energy kid. When I had this newborn baby, 9 months, 10 months almost. And he could start crying, they take a poop or something, and my 7-year-old, she can be starved for attention and be daddy, 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 and then it could be busy, running into rude people. It's kind of the parking spots are kind of tight. So all these things, they tend, with most people, our ego tends to quickly recall them as a way of preventing and offering us some sort of safety out of it, when really all it's doing is calling all those similar experiences back into our life, to kind of provide us more evidence of how it can go wrong. So that's more of the unconscious programming of our egoic mind. It's just something you might notice happening naturally. You're going to do something, and you start remembering all the memories where things went wrong. And therefore, you create an experience very similar to all those past times. But you don't have to. You don't have to have your ego going on autopilot. You can do conscious visualization, where you actually just take a few minutes. Even if this chitter chatter of the ego is going on, it'll quickly be muted and overtaken by your conscious thoughts. And you start to think about and visualize in a very easy way. Just the same way if I was to say, imagine a red apple in your mind. You could picture it. Maybe not like a brilliant red apple, but some kind of foggy image you can get somewhat of a picture in. It's as simple as that. It doesn't have to be anything really ultra meditative. Okay? And just start to visualize the experience shortly beforehand, going how you want. So if it was me, going back to my grocery store example, I would imagine myself getting a very easy, close spot, right up in the front. And then I'd imagine my kids being in a very pleasant, loving, joyful mood, which many times they are. Not all bad. I would imagine it being less busy, maybe surprisingly unbusy. And I go, wow, this is nice. I imagine we're only running into people who are kind and smile, and I imagine myself in as many details as possible as I want to give energy to, a few minutes of this. I just imagine a very easygoing, harmonious experience. And that tends to happen that way. Now, with all that said, don't be pissed off if you try this and then it doesn't work the first time, because there's so much momentum of what your ego its own opinions on these sort of situations. It might take a couple times. There might be an echo of that. But keep at it, keep at it, keep at it. And then pretty soon you will have amazing little experiences. All you have to do is imagine it before it happens. And this is a very popular technique that athletes do, and just famous people, business people, people who are very successful in whatever their little niche is. They do this. A lot of them anyway. And you can too. And once